Hello people of YouTube and welcome to Skystone Ponders on. So recently I've been looking at the game called Star Citizen. I know you're probably thinking, what? Skystone? These Ponderons are a little too much on the games that you're just interested in, when really you should be doing these Ponderons by breaking intriguing thought in a video game down. And it's true, I should be doing these things. But my response to this is that some of the games that are coming out soon are things I actually think of in a daily life. I think about games that I like. Shocking, right? Well, don't worry, as the Ponderons will be very different later on, and will probably be the Ponderons you're thinking of right now. So, that being said and done, what is Star Citizen? Star Citizen is basically a space simulator game, though of course simulates space, people, and pretty much anything you could think of that could happen in a sci-fi future. What's really interesting about it to me, however, is that it reminds me of a whole category of different games, as Star Citizen takes different styles and mechanics that are like and found in those games, and then combines them in order to form something very unique. For instance, Star Citizen reminds me a lot about the game known as Garry's Mod, or if you call it a game anyways, as there's a lot of role-playing that could be done in Star Citizen. Long ago, in the previous episodes of Skystone and Pickle Jar's Let's Plays, we used to play Garry's Mod, or the Dark RP version of it anyways, and from there we could roleplay as a certain job or purpose. But what and how we did that was all up to us, which gave us wacky adventures since everybody likes to roleplay differently. That's my idea in Star Citizen. You have pirates shooting one another for cargo, you'll have transporters roaming around looking for jobs, you have bounty hunters abusing their power and taunting you inside a little prison cell. It's just, at the end of the day, it seems like your experience in Star Citizen will be affected by a multitude of players who express their profession in the game through their personalities. And I think that's something not every game allows players to do, yet it is something very good to have, as it makes you realize that the player that you're talking to or interacting with is a human being with their own individualized ideas. Another way that you could look at this is that the stories and experiences that you make in Star Citizen are possibly endless, as every player you encounter will have their own personality and goals, which they will act upon when encountering you. That, added up with the amount of customization that Star Citizen will allow, could give the potential for every job you do to lead up to a bigger adventure. Like I said, the possibilities in this game seem endless. For all I know, you could reenact everything in the Firefly series and not even have knowledge about it. Star Citizen also reminds me of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic because of its plant side elements. Just look at the two of them together.
Clear to go. Please exit the checkpoint.
Protocol-droidia. Tossa on joku poti. Otiks me tällä näytämme? Voipi olla.
Now obviously, they don't look exactly the same, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic looks really outdated now, but doesn't Star Citizen remind you at all of the architecture that's found in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? Either way, Star Citizen's plant side elements definitely appeals to me because it reminds me of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic's plant side elements, which I've had good memories in. Now, whether or not you think they look similar is up to you, but for me, it seems like the architecture in Star Wars Citizen and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic are roughly the same. My last example for this video is that Star Citizen has also reminded me a lot about the game known as Rust, which is still in early access as of right now, but both Rust and Star Citizen have some mechanics that are somewhat similar. For instance, if you log off of Rust, you can still die as your body is still connected to the server, but just sleeping, waiting for someone to attack you and loot all your items. Likewise, in Star Citizen, if you log off without sleeping in a bed, your body falls into the control of AI until you log back on, which means you could still die if someone attempts to attack you. I thought that both of these mechanics are interesting as they keep the tension each time in between your play sessions in the Star Citizen universe. I also think this makes players feel as if things in the Star Citizen universe are always in motion, like how they are in our world. In the end, I think Star Citizen will definitely achieve its goal in becoming the best space simulator out on the market today, as it has achieved enough funding and enough staff to produce the game it wants. All we have to do is wait and hope it's as good as our dreams. So far, I've been really excited in finding out more about Star Citizen, as I'm always wondering what they're planning to add in next for the game. As I've mentioned about a couple times already in this video, it seems like the amount of adventures players could have in Star Citizen could be almost endless. Whether it be the amount of interactivity between other players and objects, or the sheer number of galaxies, or even the option that you can be whoever you want to be in the universe, Star Citizen definitely seems to be the game that goes off bounds. Anyways, that's all I have for today's Skystone Ponders on, so please leave what you pondered about this video in the comments below. And until next time, see you around the verse.